Hello, I'm Photofonz, and I'd like to thank you all for the many views I've had on my video about the Nikon D7000 and also for the many comments as well. And I've been asked by several people to do a review on the Nikon D7100. Now, currently, I don't own a Nikon D7100, but I'm going to give you my opinion on how it compares to the D7000, some of the key features on it that I like, and whether or not it's worth upgrading from the D7000 to the D7100. So I've been a very happy D7000 user since 2011. In fact, I'd probably rather use this camera more than any other camera that I own when I'm doing portraits or a wedding as well. And some of the things that I've gotten to like over the years about this camera is, of course, the color that comes out of this camera is really fantastic. And I especially like the smaller size. I'm really not into all these big giant cameras because you'd like to travel more, keep things more compact. However, if you have a need for that, that's fine. But I really like the small size, and especially the speed and the color coming out of this camera. Okay, so let's talk about some of the features that I like about the new Nikon D7100. First of all, the 7000 has a 16 megapixel DX CMOS sensor, and the Nikon D7100 has upgraded to a 24 megapixel sensor. So if you want a larger file size, that'll be a benefit if you need that extra large file size. But one thing that's different about the 24 megapixel sensor is it does not have an optical low pass filter. So is that good or bad? Yes, it is. It's both good, and some photographers are worried about it, of it being a little bit of a problem. But the good thing is it's supposed to give you a sharper image because it's taken away a filter over the sensor. And the bad news is it has potential of giving moire. And if you're not sure what moire is when the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's a moire. But now actually moire, if you ever notice, sometimes people wear like a special, like a shirt with certain patterns that run into each other, or sometimes a tie, or sometimes even special fabric that has the potential of running into each other, and then it creates its own pattern, and it just sort of has like a strange, like a new pattern type look. Even if you're photographing, say, a building and there's a bunch of bricks together, smaller bricks, that could also cause a problem. However, it's really not all that common. I mean, I think I've probably had it a couple times in the early days of digital, but you're able to get rid of that using software. So Nikon's not really concerned about moire. They'd rather give you a sharper image, which could be a plus. Although the 7000 actually has the potential of giving you a really sharp image as well if you're using a reasonably quality good lens. Another nice feature that the 7100 has is called an optional wireless mobile adapter, which allows you to shoot directly into your tablet, or if you want to, you can use your smartphone as well. Or you can also control the camera from your tablet or your smartphone. So if you had need of something like that, that would be a nice feature to have. And also it has a little bit of a larger monitor, 0.2 inches larger than the D7000 had. It now has 51 focusing points as compared to 39 on the D7000. And I think that's a good benefit. I mean, I'm pretty happy with 39, and 51 is actually nice because my D7 or my D300 has 51 focusing points, and I sort of like that. But I'm happy that with 39, and actually I could be happy with 5. Probably could be happy with just 1 focusing point, because in the old days when we used to do portraits and weddings using our manual cameras, like for instance, used to use a lot of Hasselblads for weddings, Even as sharp as they were, everything had to be manually focused. And then once your eyes get to be over 30, you have a problem sometimes with getting things in focus, especially if it's dark, you're in the reception room, it's dark and you're trying to focus. So autofocus today is really a tremendous thing to have in comparison to the old days of manual focus. It makes things so much easier. And it also has something called advanced wireless lighting. It's probably more for the professional, but it allows you to use other flashes. Say, for instance, you can use this as this is your built-in flash here, and then you can use this as in the commander mode, so you can fire other Nikon flashes that are compatible with this system. So instead of using just a built-in flash, you can use other flashes. I never really used this flash. In fact, on this camera, I think I never used it. Instead, I'll usually mount a flash on the hot shoe here, but in most cases, I'm using a camera bracket that has a flash on it. In this case, I'm using a Speedlight SP800, and most of the time, I'll use this up like this as a bounce or as a fill. But I hardly ever, of course, sometimes on wedding, you have to use this if you're doing some candids, but for the most part, this is either my fill flash or it's a bounce flash. And I'm also using a radio slave. Without getting too far into it, I really don't have need for the advanced flash setup on the D7100 since I have my own radio slave unit that sets off other flashes as well.